Hector, run!
The film opens at the Mexico-United States border, where Bryant lives a simple life in a small truck and works as a construction laborer. Every morning he dedicates time to martial arts training, honing his skills with iron discipline. From a hidden corner, Oscar, a high school student, silently observes the man's every move, passionately mimicking him with the dream of one day becoming a professional fighter. After school, on his way home, Oscar is suddenly confronted by a group of local thugs. They belong to the infamous L-17 gang, led by a dangerous man named Flo. The gang members tried to force Oscar into their car, but he firmly refused and quickly slipped away behind a hidden corner. By chance, Bryant witnessed the entire incident through the window of a nearby diner. That evening, Flo and his crew broke into Oscar's house, accusing him of disrespecting the brothers in the neighborhood. It turned out that Oscar's older brother Hector was once the leader of the L-17 gang in the area, but he had since left, leaving his younger brother to face the dangerous gang alone. Oscar constantly tried to keep his distance from the remaining members, especially Flo, the one who never missed a chance to humiliate and threaten him. The next morning, Bryant happened to notice Oscar still quietly observing and mimicking his every move. He approached the teenager, and when Oscar asked to be trained in martial arts, Bryant saw potential in the young man and decided to take him under his wing. For the next several months, Bryant trained Oscar with strict discipline, teaching him a unique fighting style he had developed over the years, a refined blend of various martial arts, perfected through real combat experience. One day Hector, Oscar's older brother and the local leader of the L-17 gang, returned to town. Right away he sensed that something was off about Bryant. His instincts told him that this man wasn't as ordinary as he seemed. He reeked of law enforcement. Concerned for his younger brother, Hector repeatedly warned Oscar to stay away from Bryant. Under pressure from his brother, Oscar didn't dare argue, but deep down, he still held on to his passion for martial arts. Determined to find another opportunity, he decided to visit a local gym. There, Marisol, the gym manager, recognized him and reminded him that he had purchased a seasonal training pass a few months ago. One evening, the entire L-17 gang gathered at an underground fighting arena, where brutal no-rules battles took place. Among the most formidable warriors was a notorious fighter known as the Collector, a ruthless competitor who hadn't tasted defeat in years. With a smug expression, he once again crushed his opponent with ruthless efficiency, sending the crowd into a frenzy of excitement. Suddenly, Oscar stepped forward and declared that he was ready to challenge the notorious fighter. No one believed that a high school student could stand a chance, but as the fight began, Oscar left everyone stunned. He displayed exceptional skill, executing the unique techniques Bryant had taught him. In less than a few minutes, the Collector, the undefeated warrior, was taken down. Oscar's stunning victory left everyone in shock, and a video of the fight quickly went viral, capturing widespread attention. The next morning, Hector approached Bryant with an enticing offer to continue training Oscar in exchange for a generous payment. He firmly believed that his younger brother had real potential to become a professional fighter. However, Bryant flatly refused. For him, the sole purpose of training Oscar was not to prepare him for the ring or fame, but to teach him how to defend himself and survive in a world full of dangers. Hector, unwilling to accept rejection, pulled out a gun and threatened Bryant. But before he could do anything, Bryant swiftly disarmed him in the blink of an eye, leaving Hector and his men in shock. With a cold, piercing gaze, he warned them never to set foot there again. Meanwhile, the video of Oscar's spectacular fight continued to spread like wildfire, catching the attention of a lawyer named Pio. Recognizing the young man's potential, Pio immediately took action. He rushed to a prison to deliver the news to his most important client, Sonny, a powerful mafia boss who continued to pull the strings from behind bars. Sonny quickly realized that only one person could have trained Oscar to that level: Bryant, the man he had hated for years. Furious, he ordered his lawyer to send the most dangerous assassins to the Mexican town to take care of the problem. A few days later at the gym, Oscar and Hector were unexpectedly approached by Colombian twin brothers, Ivan and Vlad. They claimed to be searching for new talented fighters for the brutal arena of bare knuckle fighting, a place where only blood, fists, and sheer determination determined the victor. The twin brothers began asking about Bryant, convinced that only he could have trained Oscar to such a level. However, Hector quickly sensed something off about the two strangers. not wanting to get involved in trouble, he bluntly told them to get lost. Soon as they left, Hector turned to Oscar and said firmly, "They look more like assassins than talent scouts then." His words sent a chill down Oscar's spine. He realized that Bryant could be in serious danger. Without hesitation, Oscar convinced Hector to go with him to Bryant's truck. The moment they arrived, he immediately told Bryant about the encounter with the two Colombians. Bryant immediately realized that those men weren't talent scouts, they were deadly assassins. Without wasting a second, he ordered Oscar, Hector, and Marisol to hide inside a secure armored vehicle. The Colombian twins appeared, drew their guns, and coldly executed two of Hector's men on the spot. Meanwhile, Oscar, Hector, and Marisol managed to take cover inside the heavily fortified vehicle. As chaos erupted, Bryant sprinted after the assassins, trying to divert their attention. Once the moment was right, he returned and dropped a shocking truth: he was once an undercover agent, and he was the one who put Sonny, the powerful mafia boss behind all of this, behind bars. Despite being imprisoned, the mafia boss Sonny continued to control the underworld from behind bars. He never stopped setting traps, and this time he had somehow tracked down Bryant's whereabouts, ordering assassins to hunt him down and eliminate him. Realizing the imminent danger, Bryant instructed the others to stay inside while he slipped out through a secret passage. Moving silently under the cover of darkness, he closed in on one of the twin assassins without making a sound. In a split second, Bryant struck with precision, driving his signature weapon, the B-Cross dagger, straight into his target, taking him down instantly. The second twin immediately turned, but Bryant was already on him. With lightning speed, he disarmed the assassin, ready to end the fight. Bryant doused the assassin in gasoline and ordered him to reveal the mastermind behind everything. Realizing his fate was sealed, that even if he escaped, he wouldn't survive, the assassin lit a match and set himself ablaze, choosing to die in silence rather than betray his employer. Understanding that more assassins were likely lurking nearby, Bryant quickly led Oscar, Hector, and Marisol out of the truck through a hidden underground passage. As they moved through the tunnel, his voice was firm and unwavering. He warned them to stay away from him. Sonny was one of the most powerful mafia bosses in America. Being associated with Bryant would only put them in grave danger. After putting Sonny behind bars, Bryant was forced to send his wife to another country for her safety, while he went into hiding in Mexico. He knew all too well that the mafia boss would never stop hunting him. Now, sensing the growing danger, Bryant urged Oscar, Hector, and Marisol to go home. He didn't want them getting further entangled in his war. Without another word, he simply bowed his head in farewell and returned to his truck. But just minutes later, a squad of armed police officers appeared, ordering him to step out with his hands up. However, with the instincts of a seasoned warrior, Bryant quickly sensed something was off. These weren't real cops, but Sonny's men in disguise. Without hesitation, he struck first. Bryant took down each one of them, leaving no chance for survival. Once the scene was cleared, he vanished into the shadows without a trace. But this failure was something Sonny couldn't tolerate. Without wasting a moment, he ordered Alex, one of his most trusted enforcers, to capture Hector. Sonny wanted him to reveal Bryant's whereabouts. Hector had no idea where Bryant was, but that didn't matter to Alex. He coldly ordered Hector to cut off his own ear, a brutal warning of the consequences of refusing to cooperate. However, before Hector could react, a shadow flickered past. In the next instant, Bryant appeared. Armed and ready, he tore through the enemies with lethal precision. Within moments it was over. Amid the blood-soaked battlefield, only Bryant and Hector remained. Hector still bound tightly. Alex, the sole survivor, stared at Bryant in sheer terror, unable to believe that one man had wiped out an entire squad in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Oscar and Marisol desperately searched for Bryant, but it seemed as if he had vanished without a trace. Suddenly, a group of armed men in sweat-soaked uniforms appeared, immediately putting Oscar on high alert. He tried to fight back, but before he could, one of them unexpectedly removed his mask and introduced himself. It was Eric, a former colleague of Bryant's from the police force. Eric quickly assured them that he wasn't there to cause harm but to protect his old friend. With urgency in his voice, he pleaded for Oscar and Marisol's help in finding Bryant. However, as he sat in the police car, Oscar sensed that something was off. Discreetly, he grabbed his phone and secretly sent a warning message to Bryant before it was too late. The moment Bryant learned that Eric was looking for him, he immediately realized that Oscar and Marisol were in danger. He knew Eric well, once a trusted colleague, now nothing more than a traitor. Tempted by dirty mafia money, Eric had fallen into Sonny's trap, and become one of his most loyal henchmen. Under the pretense of offering help, Eric took Oscar and Marisol to the estate of Valdez, a local mafia boss and one of Sonny's closest allies. There the gangsters had set up a perfect trap, waiting to lure Bryant into their territory for revenge. To complete their plan, the thugs forced Oscar to call Bryant for help, leaving him with no choice but to walk straight into their ambush. Bryant and Hector quickly realized that Valdez's estate was nothing more than a carefully laid trap. Knowing they couldn't take on an entire criminal organization alone, they decided to gather the most battle-hardened members of the Left 17 gang to join them in this high-stakes rescue mission. Step by step, the team of fighters closed in on Valdez's heavily fortified estate. Both sides suffered heavy casualties as they clashed with the overwhelming security forces. Mid the chaos, Bryant and Hector silently approached from the rear. They swiftly and precisely took down each guard, clearing a path into the enemy's stronghold. With his extensive experience and exceptional combat skills, Bryant confidently eliminated every opponent in his way, carving a fiery trail of destruction toward their target. At the same time, Oscar and Marisol seized their chance after freeing themselves from their restraints. Oscar grabbed Eric's gun and fired a precise shot, leaving the traitor critically wounded. The moment he heard the gunshot, Bryant rushed into the room, helping Oscar escape while finishing off the remaining mafia members. Meanwhile, Sonny, still unaware of the devastating defeat, was seething with rage upon receiving the news. But his fury was only beginning, as he had yet to realize that Bryant and his team had already devised a plan to break into the prison, ready to dismantle the criminal empire he had spent years building. As Good as Dead delivers a gripping action story filled with thrilling fight sequences and intense revenge plots. The film not only showcases heart-pounding confrontations but also highlights the spirit of fighting for justice. What are your thoughts on this movie? Share your opinions in the comments below. Thank you for reading, and see you in the next post.